These two friends say they were kicked off a Spirit Airlines flight all because they were wearing crop tops, and what happened to them is now having a major impact. It's one of the incidents that has led the airline to overhaul their dress code. Amber Cagliano explains.
It's the fashion crackdown after these two women were booted from a flight for wearing crop tops.
What's wrong with my top?
Spirit Airlines just updated its contract of carriage, declaring that passengers shall not be permitted to board the aircraft if they are inadequately clothed. That means no see-through clothing. Also banned, not adequately covered or exposed breasts or other private parts. Last October, Teresa and Tara were kicked off a plane going from LAX to New Orleans because a Spirit flight attendant claimed they were scantily clothed.
But this guy is trying to kick us out of the plane because she's wearing a crop top. And because I'm wearing a crop top.
The male flight attendant mumbled, put something on.
To defuse the situation, Teresa put on her sweater.
And they said, too bad, too late. You know, it interrupted the safety briefing.
A third passenger became so irate, she took off her t-shirt, revealing her crop top as an act of solidarity.
I'm wearing the same thing, and I'm not sure if anybody complained.
What's your reaction to this new policy?
It makes me a little mad. The wording talking specifically about like uncovered breasts. And so like people with big boobs are going to get in trouble and little boobs are fine, because that's pretty much what happened on that flight. That's why I said something.
The new policy also includes banning clothes considered lewd, obscene, or offensive in nature. So how will Spirit Airlines enforce the new policy?
Dress codes can really be subjective. It depends on who's looking, who's got their eye on it. Folks need to see pictures at this point so that this way the message is the same across the board.
What's wrong with my top?
The new Spirit crackdown isn't just about clothes. It also bans passengers from exposing tattoos that others on the plane may find offensive.
Grace and peace, you guys. Welcome to the Standard of Truth podcast, where we discuss all things social, cultural, political, and theological from a biblical perspective. I am your host, April Chapman, and welcome to the show. Today we're diving into this controversy surrounding Spirit Airlines' recent dress code policy that has social media all up in arms. Now, some are outraged, calling it oppressive, while others, like myself, I see it as a step in the right direction. This was a good thing. So in this episode, I'm going to break down why Spirit Airlines, why they have implemented such a policy. We're also going to discuss its benefits and then explore the deeper issues with modern public decorum. So why has Spirit Airlines implemented this policy? Well, airlines, as you know, they have to deal with a diverse passenger base, right? From families to business professionals. They are dealing with a diverse passenger base. They always have to constantly figure out how to maintain a comfortable and respectful environment. And that is incredibly critical. So Spirit Airlines, their decision, this really does just reflect a broader effort to uphold decorum. And their goal is to ensure that travelers don't feel uncomfortable due to inappropriate attire. This isn't about targeting or shaming. Now, I know some people are walking away thinking that's what it's about, but that's because y'all was raised wrong. You ain't got good sense. This is about creating a space where everyone can coexist respectfully. Now, public spaces, especially in ones that are enclosed, like an airplane, require a level of mutual consideration. You just, be polite, right? Implementing a dress code that sends a clear message. Certain standards must be upheld to maintain decency and respect for others. So in the opening clip that I showed you, you saw these two white women outraged at the thought of being told to get off the plane because they are dressed like a pair of thoughts. They seemed to be clueless and completely oblivious to such a self-evident truth. She then decides, one of them, I don't know if both or one of them, decides to take to social media. And I think that they do this to drum up support. But what we need to understand is that proper attire reflects self-respect. Let's be honest, dear ones. Being properly dressed is about more than just the clothes. It is about self-respect. How you present yourself communicates to the world how you view yourself. And so a well-dressed individual commands a level of respect and decorum. Listen, y'all, I have been traveling a lot lately. And you would be surprised some of the things that I have seen. Since I've been traveling a lot, one of the very first things that my mentor told me, he said, I don't care how tired you are or how early or late it is when you travel. When you travel, you need to dress for success. You need to look polished. You need to be neat. You need to exude confidence, and it makes a difference. And do you know what? He was absolutely right. I have taken several red-eye flights, and most recently, my flight didn't land until well after midnight. But do you know what? I had on a tailored coat because it was cold. I had on my heels, not super high, but comfortable enough to where I could walk through the airport without feeling like I need to take my shoes off and throw them at somebody, right? My makeup was done, my hair was combed, and I looked like someone who knew where they were going and why. It didn't matter that I had been traveling all day. It's about who I am and who I represent. I am an extension of my family, and like it or not, a representative of other women who share my ethnic reflection. Therefore, you are not going to see me in an airport with a rag on my head. That's not gonna happen. You are not going to see me in an airport with pajamas on and slippers. Not only is that just ghetto, it's low class, and it shows that you really don't give a darn. Like, listen, you need to do better. It is sad that we even have to have these discussions, but I remember when the comedian when Monique tried to help Black women, she tried to help Black women see that this is not okay. And you know what? She got roasted for saying it. And to me, that was a shame. I'm inclined to believe that the ones who were giving her the hard time was the ghetto, low class, orangutan types who you can't tell them nothing because they show up to the airport dressed exactly like that. So they were mad and they were all up in their feelings, and that's why they clapped back and lashed out at her. But she told no lies. She was absolutely right. Instead of feeling ashamed and embarrassed, they doubled down in their foolishness. This is the cultural rot that I am always talking about on this channel. Matter of fact, let me show you. Y'all take a look. Take a look at this clip.
Well, if you're flying Spirit, you want to make sure that you are covered up. They have changed their policy when it comes to what you can wear on the flight. So if you want to wear a crop top, that is not going to fly anymore. Got to make sure that you're covered up and looking appropriate according to their new policy. The airline updated its contract for carriage, stating passengers won't be allowed to board or could get kicked off of their flights if they're wearing see-through clothing, have exposed breasts, buttocks, or other private parts, if there's lewd, obscene, or offensive clothing or tattoos, or if the passengers show up barefoot. We spoke to some Spirit flyers about the company's decision.
There's just too many rules. Some people just trying to get to where they need to get to. I feel like you shouldn't put no rules on how people should wear their clothes flying to the next destination.
That's bad because you should wear whatever you want. Even if you're not okay with that, you don't have a say in what people wear.
They're the owners. I mean, they can do whatever they want, you know. I mean, I'm a business owner as well, and I have certain rules as well in my business establishment, so they can do whatever they want.
We asked these Spirit customers if these changes will make them reconsider flying with the airline.
If they change more things, yeah, for sure. Because why would you do that?
Just hearing that made me want to stay away from Spirit, for sure, for sure.
And we did reach out to Spirit for a statement, and we are waiting to hear back. But for now, reporting live from the Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport, Anna McAllister, CBS News, Miami.
Now, let me explain something to you. The fact that these appear to either be Gen Zs or early or younger millennials, out of the 3 people that they interviewed, 2 of them think that, oh, you should just be able to wear whatever you want and it shouldn't matter. And, I feel some sort of kind of way, and that's probably going to make me think twice about flying Spirit Airlines. And then you had one individual, only one, who was like, in my business, it's my business. And if I know that how people dress is going to impact the way they engage with my business. So therefore, I think it's a good thing. If they're like, no, we don't want you half naked on our airline, then they should have the right to have that as a standard. Here's where I am. I absolutely despise Spirit Airlines. But with this rule in place, if the orangutans and the thoughts have a problem with it, I might just actually start spending my money and fly Spirit Airlines, because then that means all the riffraff and the low class, low down people who don't care about how they present themselves to the world, they won't be on that airline. And to me, that was a good thing. Here's the truth. It is not about wearing expensive clothes. That's not it. It is about dressing appropriately for the occasion. Question: do you wear a swimsuit to a funeral? Do you wear a bathrobe to a wedding? No. Then why in the heck are you dressed like a streetwalker or a homeless person when you are traveling via airplane and in an airport where thousands of people can see you? Like, you do know we can see you, right? Slippers, rollers, pajamas, booty shorts, adult onesies. I seen a girl. I seen a girl last month. I was in the Charlotte airport, and she had on sheer stockings, no underwear, a bra, and a cropped jacket with some boots on. In that combination, in the airport, I just stood there like, you have got to be kidding me. She didn't even feel bad. She just walking through the airport, dragging her bag. Booty was hanging out. You could see a fresh wax in the front. Like, she was just walking like it was a Sunday morning. And as if nobody else was out there but her. Just walking like it was a Sunday morning. And I'm like, you really think nobody else can see you? Y'all, I'm like, everybody, we can see you, ma'am. We can see you. Here's the deal. I know women have been told that it doesn't matter, what you wear, but y'all, I'm here to tell you that it does. It does. When women dress classy and stylishly, or just, I don't know, regular, it shows classes confidence and a sense of self-worth. It forces people to treat you in a proper way. But unfortunately, many women today, they fall into the trap of dressing like a skank, no matter where they go, only to turn around and complain about being objectified and sexualized. I'm like, there's an inherent contradiction there. If you demand respect, your attire should reflect that. Like, my question is, where are the mamas and the grandmas that should have taught you that? Where are they? Oh, you know what? I know. They are right there with you looking just as ratchet. That's where they are. We don't have mamas and grandmamas who sit the young girls down and be like, all right, baby, now, when we travel, you put on your good clothes, right? We not going out like we just crawled up out of bed. I know you just actually crawled up out of bed, and I know it's early, but we're going to the airport. There are going to be people there that you've never seen before. And how bad would you feel if people are looking at you trying to figure out who raised you? And since I'm the one that raised you, they surely ain't going to be talking about me. So we're going to put our best on, right? Now, we're not saying you need to show up in an evening gown, but you at least need to show that you are remotely interested in what the watching world thinks about you, and you want to present your best self even when you are traveling, right? And some of the questions that I want to ask is how come they didn't tell these women that club attire belongs in the club? Like, no one wants to see excessive amounts of cleavage where your boobs are just pushed all up into your neck, or barely there outfits in public spaces where we can see butt cheeks and vaginal imprints. Listen, especially not on a plane, ma'am. Club attire has its place, and it is not at 30,000 feet or at the ticket counter or at baggage claim. You bending over trying to get your bag, and we just see all of it. Listen, the argument that policing what people wear infringes on their freedom, that is a misguided notion. Why? Because public spaces require a level of decorum and etiquette because they're shared environments. Like, you're not out here by yourself in the privacy of your own home. No, I don't want to sit in a chair after you when I can see that your crotch has been exposed. I'm sorry, I don't. All saddled with juices. No, I don't want to see that. And I don't want my teenage son having to be subjected to your half-naked behind as if I just took him to the strip club and he's 14. I don't want my young girls seeing it either. I have a set of twin girls. They are 12. I don't want them seeing that. These things are real simple and binary. This ain't hard, but for some reason, people struggle to make these proper category distinctions and learn how to conduct and govern themselves when in a variety of different circumstances, situations, and places. And the sad part, y'all, this isn't just about women either. I want to share a personal story just to illustrate this point. Y'all, recently I was at an airport. Y'all, I've been traveling a lot. By God's grace, He's enabled me to go to some pretty amazing places. But with that comes travel shenanigans. And so I was at an airport and I saw a man waiting for his flight. Like, we're waiting for the same flight, unfortunately. Y'all, he was laid out. Not originally, because originally he was sitting next to me. But then he got this bright idea that, you know what, I'm tired, so I'm going to stretch out. Y'all, he was laid out on the floor with both hands in his pants. His pants were also partially pulled down. And he seemed just completely unbothered. Like, y'all, take a look at this. Just take a look at this.
I hate it here. Welcome aboard Flight 5752 to Newport News. Group 8 and 9 customers welcome aboard almost all routes. Headed back to Atlanta. AT Hell. AT Hell. Only in AT Hell. I hate it here. We ain't even here yet. We on our way here. But I hate it there. Group 3 customers are welcome aboard Flight 5752 to Newport News. Group 4 customers are welcome aboard Flight 5752 to Newport. Group 5 customers. Seriously? That's what we doing? This is what we doing. You know, there's no way you can talk for free. I ain't not consultation.
No, try it.
It's me. It's me. It's not everybody else. It's me.
Y'all, moments like this highlight how some people have lost all sense of what's appropriate in public. That's actually my footage. So I understand where Spirit Airlines is coming from. I didn't even show y'all. I have more footage of that. It got worse, but because of censorship, I don't want to show it. He got so knee deep off into it. He started scratching and massaging and just into the out. Everybody can see you and he going in. And I'm just like, this can't be happening. This cannot be happening. He wasn't homeless. He wasn't poor. He had on designer clothes, designer shoes. I think he had like a Gucci belt or something. His whole outfit cost more than, the average person, what they probably make over the course of several days. But this is what I observed. So now I know and understand what Spirit Airlines is going through. And they're like, we got to put our foot down because it's a problem across the board with both men and women failing to conduct themselves properly. I could not believe what I was watching in real time. First of all, why are you laying on the floor? There were plenty of seats. But he got out the seat, put his stuff down on the ground, stretched out, pulled them pants down, and just got to work. I was like, yeah, I can't get home fast enough. I just want to go home. I was like, I can't do no more being into the out like this. This is too much out for me. But how did this happen? How did this happen? What is the root cause of this generational shift in mindset? You might ask yourself, why is this happening? I got one word for you. Rebellion. Many of today's women were raised by a generation of feminists who just pushed boundaries and rejected traditional values. You saw it in the first clip. Those two women could not understand what's wrong with my top. Like, she just didn't get it. She didn't get it. The mantra of live and let live, that has morphed into a license to abandon all decorum. In the second clip, you seen the young lady. I just don't understand. People should be able to wear whatever they want. You don't get the right to no shoes, no shirt, no service. That's where we are. It's sad we have to go back to that because you don't know how to act. We now have a culture where personal freedom trumps communal respect, and the result is just chaos. People feel entitled to do whatever they want, whenever they want, with little regard for how it impacts others. So public etiquette, which at one point used to be common sense, now it feels like a foreign concept. People are like, I just don't even understand why people are concerned about what I'm wearing. Here's why. Here's why that dress code policy is a good thing. Let me learn you today. If you are struggling and you just don't understand what all of this is about, let me explain it to you. Spirit Airlines' dress code policy, it is a reminder that some standards still matter. You can't just abandon all standards. It's not about controlling people, but encouraging them to act with dignity, something that a lot of people have no clue how to embrace. If you wouldn't wear it to a professional event or to a family gathering, it probably doesn't belong on an airplane. But then again, even in some corporate settings, this has been allowed. Joy Taylor was showing up to work looking like a whole thought, and nobody said anything until recently. Just saying. There's a fine line, right, between playing up your assets. I get it. Everybody want to be like, I get that. Fine line between that and exposing all your assets. You know what I mean? Y'all, we've got to learn the difference. We've got to learn the difference. But since some people clearly don't know the difference, Spirit Airlines, they felt compelled to implement these policies, and I'm here for all of it. The airlines is setting a precedent that says we value respect and decency, and we want you to govern yourself accordingly because you act like you was raised by a wolf and ain't got no good sense. And honestly, that whole idea is such a refreshing corporate mantra to have. I'm like, this is a good perspective. In today's anything goes culture, it is about time that a corporation puts their foot down and just says what needs to be said. So here's how we're going to wrap this up. In conclusion, right? Christians, we're called to be examples of respect and decorum. I get it. We're not going to always get it right. And while the world may push back against these standards, we can't compromise on what's right. This uproar over Spirit Airlines' policy, it just reflects a deeper cultural issue. But it also gives us an opportunity. We need to have conversations about self-respect, public decency, and the value of presenting yourself well. And I get it. There are different standards of decency depending on who you talk to, but y'all know good and darn well the ones that completely cross the line. You know, butt cheeks, full mammary glands, and your entire midsection out and exposed. Those are universally understood as doing team too much. You already know this. Don't act like you just found out yesterday. Don't play that. You didn't just learn that today, so stop acting like you did. So I'm curious to know, what do you guys think? Do you think that this policy that Spirit Airlines has implemented has gone too far? They're encroaching upon your freedom and your liberty to just express yourself? Or if you like, thank goodness, I might actually buy a Spirit Airline plane ticket because I've been told that typically on Spirit Airlines, you don't know what you're going to see. And I just couldn't take that risk. But whatever you think, whichever perspective you hold, I think we should dialogue about it in the comments. Leave me a comment below. And until next time, you guys, grace and peace.